Hey guys, what's going on? It's Rekt Capital, and thank you so much for joining me in today's video update where we're going to be talking about this really important graphic here by Aurelian Ohayon. Really interesting way of just segmenting the market cycle, the Bitcoin market cycle, into very specific periods, and we're going to be talking about that in a lot more detail. Subscribe to the channel for more videos like this in the future, and let's dive right into it. So we've been talking about market cycles for a long time. We've been talking about the 4-year cycle, and we'll be using the 4-year cycle to just give a bit more context to these phases. So if we just focus first on the bear phase, the bear phase is where we see a retracement in Bitcoin's price action, which is around 365 days long across cycles, and these bear phases tend to be around 365 days in length. And when we talk about the 2011 cycle, this is where we saw a 93% retracement. In 2014, we saw an 86% retracement in the bear market. In 2018, we saw a 84.5% retracement in the bear market. And over here, we saw in 2022 a 77% retracement, or 78%. And if we just focus on the 4-year cycles, we can notice that these bear phases are in candle 2 of each 4-year cycle. So let's bear that in mind as we go through this graphic here. And one of the things to mention in this portion of the graphic is it's a little bit misleading in the sense that this is August 2012, this pullback, and then we see price go into April 2013 over here. So it's as if this is half of 2012 and this is half of 2012 and 2013, with this retracement being the mid-cycle top in April 2013. So that's something to just straighten out for a bit more clarity and understanding as to what's going on in this cycle. And the reason for this is probably because the first cycle, pre-2012, was a little bit shorter, it was a little bit different. We didn't really have that much data to talk about, but let's move on away from that little technicality. In any case, we tend to see deep retracement in these bear market years. The bear market tends to be essentially 365 days, roughly speaking, of just downtrending price action and nothing else to it. But if we focus on 2012, 2015, and 2019 and 2023, we'll notice that this is where it's called the pre-bull phase. But if we focus here on the 4-year cycle, we can see that 2012 is the year of the halving. However, 2015 is the pre-halving year. 2019 is the pre-halving year. And so is 2023. The pre-halving years tend to be bottoming out candles, candle number 3. Because the halving years are candle number 4, where we actually see a lot of trend reversal and confirmation in a new bull market. And what's interesting about this pre-bull phase here in the graphic is that in 2015 we saw an extended accumulation range at the bear market lows. And 2012 is where we saw a lot of consolidation following from the bear market lows in 2011 into a long period of just going sideways for a long time before ultimately breaking out, pulling back into near this accumulation range and then continuing its uptrend. Right over here we had a accumulation range and then finally a breakout, pull back into the top of that accumulation range, and then confirmation into a new macro uptrend. Here we can actually see in 2019 that this accumulation range, which was much smaller than this one in 2015, and that's quite interesting. You can actually see the picture perfect retest of the range high here. But that's quite interesting that 2015 accumulation range was much shorter than this one. When we broke out from this one here, then we had limited upside to 13,900, and that's probably part of the reason why we saw such limited upside, was because this accumulation range was much shorter, smaller, than this one, because in 2015, this year-long accumulation range, well, it preceded so much more upside in the years that followed. In 2019, we saw a retracement going into the end of the year, and we're in this analogous period. Still pre-halving year, pre-bull, but there is scope for a bit more upside, though that upside would probably be limited. And the reason, well, I've made a video about this, why 2023 is more resembling 2019 than it is 2015, because we're seeing a lot of similarities. And one of those similarities come from the fact that this reaccumulation range or accumulation range were essentially much shorter than the 2015 ranges. So a bit more upside, but limited before we see a 2019-esque retracement going into later this year or even earlier in the year of the halving. So let's actually move into the year of the halving. 2016, 2012, of course. 2012 is November 2012 is where the halving occurred. That time, July 2016 is where the halving occurred in 2016, and we can actually see a pre-halving retrace around the time of the halving. In 2020, we saw it occur in May 2020, and interestingly enough, we also saw a pre-halving retrace, the COVID crash right over here in March 2020, that black swan. However, technically, it still validated a lot of the pre-halving price tendencies that we just simply see prior to a halving event. And we even saw some downside, or at least some pulling back in, for instance, August of 2012, some pulling back before that November halving took place later on in the year. So here's a really interesting thing to notice. Going into the end of 2023, probably retracement like we saw in 2019, and going into early in the year of 2024, probably also retracement early on in that year. But once the halving kicks in around here, for instance, roughly speaking, we'll see a pre-halving retrace, maybe even a deeper retrace prior to that, pre-halving retrace in 2012 as well. And then afterwards, we're going to emerge into a second bull, as it is called here. But generally speaking, this is the first bull. So the halving year, and this is the post-halving year. So this is very much a candle 4, where we see trend reversal in the halving year. And then the first bull, or at least the second bull that's in the graphic, this is going to be candle 1 right over here, where we see the bull market peak, essentially. So these phases are very much segmented as per the halving. So the halving is shaping these phases, and these phases correspond to the 4-year cycle. So the 4-year cycle is built due to this halving event. This is the post-halving candle. So 2012, November 2012 is when we saw the halving occur. 2013, the post-halving candle 1. Then a bull or a bear market retracement in candle 2. Candle 3 being the bottoming out candle, where we see a bottom and a local top, and then a retracement, so a macro consolidation candle. And then the trend reversal candle in the halving year, and then the cycle repeats once again. So we are in a new 4-year cycle that's going to be completed next year. We're going to see candle 4 develop in 2024. That's going to be the halving year. We'll see still lots of volatility later this year in 2023, but also early in 2024. And then after the halving, we're just going to be enjoying this portion of price action, essentially speaking. But at the same time, we have to note that these candle 1s that we see in a bull market are diminishing with each passing cycle, and that's something to really bear in mind when considering this second bull, this post-halving period, where we see a new all-time high occur and fantastic movement across the market, both in Bitcoin and also altcoins across the board. So that's about it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. Subscribe to the channel for more videos like this in the future. I hope you found this one educational. Leave a like if you did. Leave a like if you enjoyed this one. It really helps with the algorithm. Really appreciate you tuning in to today's video. In any case, that's about it for today's video. I'll speak to you in the next one. Speak to you soon.